When it comes to technology, people have a tendency to overestimate tech in the short term and massively underestimate it in the long term. For the naysayers with a move fast and break things mentality, or those people who lost patience with the roadmap, come June 29th and the Vassal hard fork, Cardano will become the most scalable, secure, and decentralized blockchain that exists today. The trilemma will be nothing more than a distant memory, and those casualties that chose to underestimate the slow, steady approach may finally start queuing up to buy their tickets and come back on board. First mover advantage may build network effect, but what you're about to witness is how network effect can slip through your fingers when you insist on ignoring your competitors' advancements that are in plain sight. Welcome back to another installment of Cardano Insights, delivering a roundup of the all-important Cardano news and ecosystem content from the past 24 hours. Join me as I explore exactly what's been happening at the very pulse of Cardano in a fast-paced, bite-sized format. So let's get straight into it. We got this update from LendingBond, who are a collateralized NFT lending platform. They announced this week 3 loans were issued that exceeded 25,000 in ADA. This consisted of 2 Ape Society and 1 SpacePods NFT, with the loan amounts totaling 82,000 in ADA. As a borrower, you can set the interest rate, loan period, and amount you wish to loan with your NFT used as the collateral. If the loan isn't repaid in the required timeframe, the smart contract will automatically deliver the NFT to the lender. We also got this insight from Ada88, who previewed his own interaction with LendingBond after successfully receiving his Claynation NFT back during the loan term. He explained why he thought it was a win-win for both himself and the lender, detailing 30 days ago he put up his Claymates NFT as collateral for a 1900 ADA loan. Because ADA dropped significantly in value during that time period, Eddie was able to pay back the loan with significantly less dollar value, about half of what he would have needed to pay when the loan was originally taken. For the lender, assuming they care about building ADA and not dollars, received 100 ADA for lending the 1900 for 30 days. For perspective, they would have had to stake the 1900 ADA for an entire year to yield 100 ADA. This is another great example of the use and utility dApps are bringing to the Cardano ecosystem. With Project Catalyst's next round of funding opening in 2 days' time, I thought this was a really interesting SIP put forward by the developer community. Sebastian from DC Spark gave us this insight to a Cardano improvement proposal. For context, Sebastian is the first blockchain-based SIP editor paid for directly by Catalyst to write and edit SIPs. SIP 56 is the idea of diversifying Cardano's revenues to help sustainably grow the Cardano treasury. DC Spark received a Catalyst grant to build the upgradable treasury smart contract mechanism, which was recently open sourced. They used this to write SIP 56, which introduces the idea that would enable companies that received Catalyst funding, who are private enterprises, the ability to donate funds back to Catalyst once they build out their businesses. This can be used to diversify the treasury holdings. Rather than just holding ADA as it does currently, the treasury could own tokens from other projects or USDC, for example, unrelated to ADA. With currently 500 million USD value, that's 900 million in ADA, held in the treasury, this SIP definitely provides alternative growth mechanisms to the Catalyst fund. Now to the big man Charles. He delivered a great Twitter space yesterday evening, and if you didn't have time, here's a quick rundown on some of the interesting topics he discussed. Firstly, he gave us some great updates. In summary, he explained they're preparing for consensus and already have 1,000 people signed up for the community event, confirming many dApp developers will be there to showcase what they're building. Work on Vassal is really starting to ramp up, and the project scientists are working overtime to get the input endorser spec delivered. Notably, he confirmed Hydra just had its latest release and is on track for version 1.0 to be delivered before the end of the year. Speaking on Mithril, a superfast light wallet, he confirmed the team will have a complete demo to show at consensus and should be able to roll out the full product for this summer. He also covered smart contract standards following the Barcelona summit, where focus was directed on software and smart contract certification. He aims to roll that team over to wallet certification so that we can have certified Cardano wallets and make those open standards for the community to maintain. For the full updates I've discussed, check the Twitter space linked in the description where I've timestamped this for you. Charles also delivered a brilliant insight on network effect, VCs and Cardano's innovations. To summarise, he explained A16Z, a leading venture capitalist firm, released a report on the state of cryptocurrency 2022, and Cardano wasn't mentioned at all. I'll paraphrase some of the key moments from Charles. Silicon Valley VCs disregard Cardano and go invest all their money into projects like Luna, then act surprised when they lose their money. Maybe there's a marketplace for blockchains that measure twice and cut once. VCs claim you must be first to market, and if you don't get network effect, you're done. That's just not how tech works. If you don't believe me, try pulling out your BlackBerry phone, open up Internet Explorer, log into your Yahoo email, reactivate your MySpace page, and start blogging about it. Everything just mentioned used to have gargantuan network effect, some of which in the billions, and were thought of as monopolies that couldn't be replaced. 10 years later, they were gone, no longer having any meaningful impact on technology. Tech is one of the few fields where monopolies are not terribly durable, and if they are, you just invent new categories like Android to Microsoft. The VCs don't get this because they make phenomenal returns dumping on retail by getting in really early. They couldn't do this with Cardano, as there was no distribution for that, so they either ignore it or attack it. As an example, he referred to a recent NFT report that showed first place, second place, and then fourth place, literally omitting Cardano. Instead of replacing it, they went straight from second to fourth. Charles closed this segment hoping the up-and-coming consensus event will help to level this out, and is looking forward to kicking these VCs in the teeth, showing them how big the ecosystem has grown, and explaining it will be impossible to ignore it now. If you're interested and don't have time for the full space, I've detailed the minutes in the description below for the sections that I've covered, and also 2 other interesting parts of the discussion, where he covers Luna, principles to invest in good and bad projects, Cardano being a world financial operating system, and the strength of the Cardano community. It's definitely worth a listen. Next up, and more positive sentiment for Cardano, as Luna Crush announced that Cardano is in first position for trending searches. This is not surprising considering how much is going on in terms of blockchain developments, dApp deployment, and ecosystem growth. We also got this tweet from Sentiment, an on-chain social metrics platform that covers over 2,000 cryptocurrencies. They announced Cardano is one of many altcoins that have enjoyed a great start to the week, currently up 13% in the last 24 hours. Development activity has hit all-time high levels as the Cardano community continues to work on innovating while prices were suppressed. The graph displays the development activity in contrast to price movements over the last 12 months. This comes as no surprise to the Cardano community and those building in the ecosystem, who understand true value comes from use and utility. GitHub commits have risen to 457 submissions per day despite the overall negative sentiment in the markets, and maintains Cardano's leading position in this respect. Cardano Blockchain Insights gave us this relating to the current average transaction size on Cardano. Average transaction size on Cardano across all transaction types is currently 3,206 bytes. We expect this number to significantly drop after the Vassal hard fork event on June 29th. Now the drop may not be immediate. dApp developers will have to modify code so that the average transaction size reduces. The Vassal hard fork will bring down the size to the Plutus transactions by a factor of 8. This is of course provided that dApp developers use SIP33. It's fair to say we should be happy when Plutus transaction size average 1k bytes. It's important that dApp developers and users actually bundle many payments in one transaction, so that the transaction byte per second and overall amount of payments remains high. Despite the critics and coordinated efforts to stifle Cardano's growth, it's clear that true innovation and world-changing technology will not be suppressed. As a community, we're about to embark on probably the most bullish month in the roadmap's history. As we do, this channel will be sure to bring you regular news updates and Cardano insights every step of the way. So if you found value in today's content, please comment, like, share, and consider subscribing to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. So thanks for watching. Until next time, have a great day and keep it Cardano.